There you go. So welcome everyone again to the John Yuffie Seminar Series. This afternoon we have two excellent presentations. I'm personally looking forward to both of them. So let's start with the first one here. Betsy James has been an exceptional student the last 4 years. Her natural aptitude in mathematics has earned her praise from her colleagues and friends. She's also been very helpful at the Center for Academic Success, what we call CAS here, with her above average tutoring skill and her dedication to helping students. In addition to these many qualities, Betsy can be very focused at times, a quality that will become quite useful in guidance. So her talk is entitled The Sound of a Mother's Heart. This is with great pleasure that we welcome Betsy James to the John Yuffie Seminar Series.
Thank you, Dr. Connolly. Good afternoon. My name is Betsy James, and the title of my project is Sound of a Mother's Heartbeat. Who all here has children, or a younger brother or younger sister? So then, this is something you've seen before. A crying baby. Crying baby can be really stressful, especially for a newly working mother who has to deal with household chores at the same time take care of a baby. So, wouldn't it be nice if a solution existed that would only calm a baby down when the mother's not around? This was my goal when I started the project about a year ago. But before I go any further, I'd like to give an overview of what to expect. I already gave a small introduction. Next, I'll talk about an existing pattern, my hypothesis, our project in depth, results, and conclusion. One of the things Dr. Connolly had us do when he started working on the project was to search for existing patterns. He didn't want us to do something that already existed. So when I did my research, this is one of them I found. So this is a sound and heartbeat playback system by James Bennett. It's a device that can be placed in a child's toy, like a teddy bear, that can be used to calm a baby down. But it does not actually use a mother's heartbeat. Instead, it mimics a mother's heartbeat and other natural sounds. So when I did my hypotheses, I took a different approach. My first hypothesis is that a model can be developed that can represent an age group with a single sound. For my project, I divided the females from 18 to 40 into 4 different age groups. My second hypothesis is that this represented sound can be used to calm baby down. Next, I'd like to talk about how I got my data. The data is the different females from ages 18 to 40. So one of the things that came up was how I was going to record this data. And there seems to be an app for everything in this world today. So I started looking at the Apple App Store for different apps. I found a few different apps that actually record heartbeats. I was kind of surprised by that. The one I chose is called the Mobile Telescope. With this, I was able to record different heartbeats from the ages 18 to 40 and categorized into 4 different age groups. This is a block diagram showing the steps I took once I got my data. So the data, which is from here, I get the data from the app, like I said, which is a sound file. I convert that in time series, and I do 2 things. I take the fast Fourier transfer of the individual files, and I add all the files up. Then I take the average of the added files. The reason I did this is because, like I said, my first hypothesis is to see whether a single sound can represent an age group. So I had to compare the average and individual to see if it matches up. These 4 graphs just show that. So these 4 graphs are the different graphs of showing the comparison between average and individual of 4 different age groups. As you can see, the blue is the individual and A is an average. The red is the average, sorry. From this graph, I could say that my first hypothesis was proved, that the averages and the individual do match up, and a single sound can be used to represent it. But an issue came up. The bottom 2 graphs, when I overlapped just their averages, the averages overlapped, which can be seen in this graph. So even though the FFT model did prove partially my hypothesis, since this issue came up, we went for a different model, which is why I went to the pulse spectral density. Pulse spectral density is defined as the power per unit frequency. It gives the power of the signal as a function of frequency. I did the exact same thing I did with FFT. You've seen this block diagram before. It's the exact same thing for FFT, except I'm finding the pulse spectral density. I did the exact same thing. I overlapped the average and the individual. And so what do you see? So this shows, this shows that I took a random individual from my sample size and I matched up with the average. And it shows I do match up. I did this for all the 4 different age groups. It's difficult to see here as the frequencies are very small, but they do have, there is a difference between each of the peaks. Okay. So the next thing, my second hypothesis is about calming a baby down. So we did research in the beginning, and it showed that most babies tend to hear white noise when they're in the mother's womb. So instead of just doing the heartbeat, we decided to add white noise along with the heartbeat for the sound files. So we simulated white noise, which is this. It's just white noise samples. We took the histogram, which shows that is actually Gaussian white noise with 0 mean and unit frequency. We did the pulse spectral density. It should be, since it's a white noise, it's supposed to be a flat line, which can be seen. Also, we did the autocorrelation function. It's supposed to be delta function, which can be seen here too. So next, once I did all this stuff, to prove my second hypothesis, I decided to create an app. I didn't have the time to do that, but I had someone else make one for me. So in the app consists of 4 different age groups, which plays the sounds. It plays the heartbeat and the average added together. So next, I'm going to show a demo video of the app. And since the video does have some sound problems, I'm going to play the heartbeats on my phone, which can be heard from here. So the heartbeat you're hearing right now is for the age group 18 to 23. I'll play another one. This is 24 to 29. As you can see here, there is a difference. This is 30 to 34. And 35 to 40. My conclusions. So, I was able to model the woman's heartbeat using both FFT and pulse spectral density. Like I mentioned before, the FFT, since the averages of 2 age group matched up, I had to go to a different model, and that's why I ended up going to the pulse spectral density. I was also able to model the mother's womb, which was a white noise. I added this along with the average and released in the app. So the goal was to get the app actually released on the Apple App Store, but I ran out of time and I couldn't do that. I wasn't able to test it, but that's something for the future I hope to do, because the app is already done, it's already made, but it's just not released on the Apple Store yet. Now, that ends my main part of my project. I'd like to thank some people. I'd like to thank Dr. Connolly, especially, for putting up with all my tantrums, even though I know it can be difficult at times. But thank you for helping throughout all this. I know you think we all hate you and we have something against you, but we don't. We don't. You do expect a lot from us, and sometimes stress makes us say things that we don't mean. We do all love you. Hey, and like you said, one day I will probably appreciate everything that you put me through. Not today. One day I will. Next, I'd like to thank Hira. She's the girl. She's a programmer in Pakistan who actually made me the app. I'd like to thank her. She went above and beyond what she was supposed to do, and I'm really thankful for that. Next, I'd like to thank Chris White, who's not here apparently. He helped me with all my. He helped me filter out all my sound files, and he did a lot of things with my sound files. I'm very thankful for that. I thank all my participants. I know I've been to many of you guys. I've asked you to record your heartbeats. It was very awkward and uncomfortable thing to do, but thank you for taking part in that. I thank all my friends and all faculty who support me through all this. And Does anyone have any questions?
Questions for Betsy?
No, I can drink water. Yes.
But I'm curious, did you looked at different age groups? Did you also look at other factors such as ethnicity and how that affected heartbeat?
No, we just looked at heartbeats and just the ages. That's it. Nothing else. Someone else can do that. Dr. Freeze has a lot of ideas for this project. Maybe another upcoming senior can do that. Yes.
The white noise that you were incorporating, was that actual recording of white noise?
No, it's stimulated white noise. We just simulated it. Yeah. Anybody else?
Did you get a bunch of people to record their heartbeat?
Yes, I did. I went around campus and every family members I know, I went back and I asked them.
Did you adjust the signals at all for like difference in heart rate?
The one thing we asked them to do, the only thing I could do was that make sure they were resting. So when I took the heartbeat, I made sure they were all calm and not nervous. Some of them were. I went back, I listened to the heartbeat. Some of them, there were some that didn't match up with the average. I had to get rid of those. But most of them, like I said, I showed in the graphs, they did match up with the average pretty well. And I took the best one, I showed it here.
Was this based on any research that shows that babies are quieted by
A mother's heartbeat? Yeah. Yes. So there's a lot of research there's a lot of things that exist already that says that babies do tend to calm down when a mom picks them up, and you can see that.
What's the average number of participants that you are in each groups?
Each age group is different. I started with the people I got the most were 18 to 23 because we do have a lot of girls on campus. I was able to get about 50 in that, but I did have to since when I recorded with the app.
50 or 15?
50. For that age group I got 50, but the app sometimes just caused some glitches. There were some glitches in the app, and because of that I had to get rid of some files towards the end. But mostly I had about 20 to 25 in most of the age groups towards the end.
Questions for Betsy? All right then.
Thank you, Jesus.